วัสดีค่ะสวัสดีท่านคณะกรรมการผู้ทรงคุณวุฒิทุกท่านนะคะสวัสดีแขกท่านผู้มีเกียรติแล้วก็ผู้เข้าร่วมกิจกรรมในวันนี้ทุกท่านค่ะต้อนรับทุกท่านนะคะเข้าสู่เวทีของเราในวันนี้กับเวที Inspiration Lab ค่ะภายในงานสถาปนิก 2569 นะคะซึ่งในปีนี้ค่ะธีมในการจัดงานของเรานั่นก็คือสติมาปัญญาพร้อมนะคะหรือว่าสติ Wisdom และ Prompts ค่ะในงานครั้งนี้นะคะเราก็จะชวนทุกท่านนะคะมาโฟกัสกันในเรื่องของความสมดุลค่ะกับเรื่องของความสามารถของมนุษย์ของเราที่สามารถปรับและไปได้อย่างดีนะคะในความฉลาดของ AI ค่ะรวมไปจนถึงกิจกรรมที่กำลังจะเกิดขึ้นบนเวทีนี้ด้วยนะคะซึ่งในอีกสักครู่ท่านก็จะได้ตื่นเต้นค่ะไปกับความสามารถนะคะของสถาปนิกชาวไทยที่จะร่วมมาพรีเซนต์บนเวทีหลังจากนี้ค่ะ Good afternoon ladies and gentlemen welcome all of you to the Inspiration Labs in ASA Architect 2026 We are gathered here to explore the cutting edge of design and creativity under the theme ASA Emerging Young Architect in the Age of the New Disruption. This forum is designed a space to showcase the visionary, talented, and the unique perspective shaping the new of Thai architect today. In order to explore this journey together, I would like to invite our moderator to moderate our session. Please welcome คุณนงลักษณ์ภักดีวงศ์หรือว่าคุณอ้อนค่ะเจ้าหน้าที่ฝ่ายต่างประเทศกิจกรรมพิเศษของอาสาสมาคมสถาปนิกสยามในพระบรมราชูปถัมภ์ค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะทุกท่านค่ะ Good afternoon ladies and gentlemen distinguished judge, speaker, and all brilliant minds joining us today. My name is Nonglak Phakdiwong from ASA, and it is my pleasure to be your MC today events. Welcome to ASA Emerging Expo. It's truly inspiring to see such an incredible gathering of energy, creativity, and future-shaping talents all one place. Thank you for being here, and more importantly, for being a part of what comes next. So today, we're going to ask, how can design lead change? How can young architects transform the disruption into opportunity? This is called for building, for bold thinking. This is called for fearless creativity. Throughout today's program, you will experience a dynamic lineup of presentations and interactive sessions, led by inspiring voice from both local and international emerging architects. So, before we begin, it is my honor to introduce our distinguished panel of judges. The first one, please welcome Mr. Sathirath ASA Vice President. Please give a warm welcome. Thank you so much. Second one, Mr. Rathapong Angkasit, ASA Executive Committee. The third one, Mr. Adun Kaudi, ASA Executive Committee. And the last judge today, Mr. Chaturong Kingminghae, Chairman of ASA Architect Expo 2026 and founder Architects of Creative Territories. Next, may I invite all of the judges on the stage for photo taking, for group photos taking. Thank you. Please, just to be on the stage. Okay, very nice. So the second shot will be, we would like to invite all the finalists to come to on the stage, and also from to young architect from Indonesia and from Japan having a group photo with us. Please come. เคนะคะ Thank you so much for our judge and our 5 finalists today. Okay, let's move to the next session. Now let's begin. Our first presentation will be delivered by architect Kazunori Sakai, CEO and partner of Sakai Architect Japan. Please join me giving a warm welcome to architect Kazunori.
Koppunka. First one is always getting me nervous. So, thank you for having me here today. And today, I'd like to talk about my project called Off the Grid on the Island. My name is Kazunori Sakai. I'm an architect based in Japan. And I originally studied civil engineering in Japan at the college, and later I moved to the United States to start studying architecture at the grad school in Florida. And since then, I have traveled so many countries to exploring the different type of the architecture, culture, and practicing in Japan. And currently, I'm based on the Amami Island, where I conduct half of my design work here. And my project vary widely in scale and context around Japan, and from tiny houses to the large residencies like this. And some of them is urban high-density infill housing in Tokyo, and large public architecture like this. And now I would like to shift to the topic slightly and talk about the global environment. So recently, as you can see, the climate change is rapidly accelerating. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more intense. For example, last summer, the temperature in Spain is exceeded 46 degrees. It's getting harder and harder for human beings to live in the world. In addition to the climatic issue, we also face the uncertainty from the pandemics, disasters, and social instability. So we are living in the time where it is difficult to predict what will gonna happen in next. So this map shows highlighting the local government, shows Japan, highlighting the local governments at the risk of disappearing by 2040s. In 16 years, almost 900 local governments is going to be disappeared. So in these situations, I bought a mountain in the Amami Island, like with a breathtaking view like this. And on this mountain, I began the project to create a self-sustained off-grid system within the minimum footprint. The idea was to build a small cabin on the mountain as it used a testing ground to explore and demonstrate practical systems and knowledge for achieving self-sufficient infrastructure on limited land, even in the regions facing the depopulations. And however, through this process, I discovered something unexpected. Although the Amami Island is located south part of Japan, but its annual sunlight hours is surprisingly low, almost same as the Tohoku region, which is very known as heavy snow. So I spoke to the civil engineering to making the minimum infrastructure system on the mountain, but everyone told me it's impossible. At the time, I felt stuck. But after reading this poem, actually 2 years ago, I read this poem. It's Good Ancestor. It's written by the Drew. It's an American poet. 3:23 a.m. I cannot sleep. My grandchild's grandchild appears in my dream and asks me, when the earth was falling apart, what were you doing? After reading this poem for the first time, I truly feel that global environment issues were not abstract problem, but something deeply personal. So after read this poem, like 10 days later, I decided, so this picture is my own house in the Amami Island. It's groundbreaking ceremonies. It's happened 10 days after I read this poem. And at the time, I decided to cut the power grid in the city center of the Amami. That was the starting point of my project. So I'm gonna talk about the Amami house. So this is a diagram about my house, how interconnected the cycles between the resources and community and energy. This house is explanations of how we can rethink the sustainable living in the contemporary era while staying closely attuned to the climate and culture of the subtropical regions. The site is located in the Amami Island. It's south part of Japan. It's like 2 hours from Tokyo. And about 60% of the land is covered by the forest. It's often called Galapagos of the East. And in 2021, it's designated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. The site lays about like 40 minutes south of the airport, and it's very quiet residential area, slightly removed from the city center, like this. This is the main facade of the house. It's a single-story wooden structure with a distinctive Irimoya style, hip and gable roof, and deep eaves. So I'm always thinking about what is Amaminess, what defines the Amaminess, and expressing it through the architecture. So this time, I organized the design around 4 elements that I believe represent Amami. The first one is an area view of the village in Amami Island. It's kind of the original scenery, landscape in Amami Island. And as you can see, a lot of the housing consists of the Irimoya style roof, like this. And another element is Takakura. As you can see in here, it's like you can see a lot of this type of the high-rise storage architecture in South Asia, and we do have in the Amami too. And when I was kids, I always playing underneath of the Takakura. It's very comfortable. And the typical house in the Amami Islands is based on the cluster of the separate buildings. And this is the most important things. So this is a moment when we cherish the celebration of my house completions. Almost 140 people gather in the house to celebrate. And this type of the tradition is faded with the urbanization and isolation. The houses brings that rhythm back. So creating a space that can warmly welcome, embrace a large number of people like this, one of the main concepts of my project. So I'm gonna talk about the plan. So basically, the plan is very simple. There's 4 boxes, and designed to allow the airflow all the directions. The deep eaves blocks the strong sunlight and keeps the rain from the entering. Each box contains each box has a functions like this, and angle wrapped around the housing. During the celebration and special occasions, people can freely in and out from the engawa, and gently connected the everyday life with a special moment and linking the individual with the community. Here is a design space in the center, like this. So this is a great natural ventilation space. So it remains comfortable without using the air conditionings. As you can see, through the openings all the side, you can enjoy the seasonal plants and flowers throughout the year. By varying the floor level in this area, I create a spaces that can create the different ways of use, like this. And also, the loft space is designed a flexible space that can be used as children's rooms in the future. Since we don't have a college in the island, the kids gonna live, like most of the kids live in 18s. Our campus, we have a campus outside of the house, and it's only consists of the foreign leaves. And as a result, we no longer produce food waste at the house. Also, we use the campus in the garden right next to it, and for the vegetations. So it's good education for the kids, learning about the food too. And I'm very big fan of the sauna, and I use leftover from the construction site for the heating sauna. The thermal environment I'm gonna talk. And to stay comfortable during the subtropical summer on the Amami Island, we use roof ventilations. And on the west-facing fixed window, we use a heat-blocking film to reduce that gain while still letting in the soft lighting inside. There also, the other side is we have exhaust windows to release the heat and humidities. So this is showing the graph, the hottest day in last summer, and while the outside temperature reached about like 35 degrees, the inside the house temperature is like keep the 2 to 3 degrees lower. And in the winter time, I heat the entire house like about 120 square meters with just a single kerosene heaters. By using the vertical ventilation fan to circulate the warm air trap into the attic to down in the floor, we are able to heat the entire space evenly. Even on the coldest days, when the outside temperature is around 10 degrees, we are able to maintain 24 degrees inside. It's very comfortable to stay. So next one is kind of natural energy. So on the roof, I've installed so many things like a solar water heater and solar panels. Hot water is basically supplied by the solar heat. This graph shows the gas usage compared with the previous home. Before you use gas for both cooking and hot water, in the new house, we even add the gas dryer. So you'd expect the usage to increase. But despite that, we've reduced our total gas consumption about half. this indicates that most of the energy needed to heat the water is now being covered by the solar heat and other sources. For the electricity, we've disconnected from the grid, provided a national power grid. Now we live entirely on the self-generated stored energy. So this graph shows our electricity usage compared to our previous rental home and our new house. As you can see, we consume about like 450 kilowatt hours per month. But when we move into the new house, we started off under pretty tough conditions. So this is a photo taken when we moved in August 2024. And honestly, at the time, it generates much less power than I expected. So I experienced several outrages. And at one point, we thought this is not going to work. We cannot live longer like this. So in September, I installed extra panels and batteries, but I hadn't anticipated that the neighbor's 2 stories shading on their house. So the shadow is reduce our efficiency to producing the power. That was a nightmare. Then next year, like last March, I rearranged the solar panels completely. And finally, we can have the normal life after this. So now we have a system in the place that allows me to control the power generation and stored based on the weather conditions, like this type of system. So also, the improved by 1.6 times over the year. Over the past years, from the last March to the end of the month, we introduced PHEV and live without gasolines. As a result, I found that for 3 months in the winter time, the power generation wasn't enough, and I didn't have surplus capacity to charge the vehicle. So to make up for the lack of energy generations during the short winter days, I plan to introduce wind power to help stabilizing the electricity supply throughout the year. It's still a small initiative, but we are coming to explore a way of living that fit our scale while putting into the practical local cycle of the resource within the community. So a shift from the grid and as an electrical network to grid as a social system. In Amami, I learned that choosing to live without being connected to the power grid isn't isolations. It can actually create a new point of the connection of the human future of the society. Let's create our own environment instead of relying on the system. Let's build new connections instead of isolating ourselves. So architecture isn't just about buildings. It's about shaping how we live, how society works. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Architect Kazunori Sakai from Sakai Architect Japan. Very impressed. Next, we move to our second presentation. Please welcome architect Antonius Richard, Principal Architect of RAD from Indonesia. Richard, the stage is yours.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us here. So, I'm not used to present in 15 minutes. So rather than presenting in the depth, I think I would just try to bring you guys into a story of liberation. Just enjoy the feeling of being free for the next 15 minutes. The topic I want to bring is about how is a liberating decentralized architecture can be achieved to flexibility in archipelagos country like ours. As most of you not know that our maps deceive us. This is the actual world map, if you can tell, that those along the tropics like us, Thailand, Indonesia, is actually bigger than it seems, right? So through these maps, you can see that Indonesia is the second widest in the world, next to Russia. It's just like a few kilometers away of being the first one. So it possesses a challenge because, as you can see, it's an archipelago. We have like more than like 17,000 islands. So it's a challenge if you try to use a standard sustainability system in all the islands throughout Indonesia. So it makes our missions to decentralize architectures in our practices. So for now, I'll try to bring you into several different approaches that we use in our practices and how to inspire sustainability. The first one is actually an installation. So this is a pavilion showing that actually we believe that architecture is not the real solutions of sustainability. Indonesia turns out to be the second most wasteful when it comes to organic waste. So the challenge that we want to bring the issues that we want to show the developer and government that only if you solve organic waste, right, in utopian world, then actually it will do more damage than just a good architectures. So these 3 months pavilions is trying to demonstrate how to create a circular loop of organic waste. We're doing it with 100% zero waste, zero concrete, just a bamboo and steel structure, and make it hidden amongst the green hill. The idea was to have a chicken coop around like 55 chicken, which, if you don't know, that chicken, every 3 days, they will give you 2 eggs, right? And to be honest, they feed them like steaks and everything, restaurant waste, basically. So what happens is you tend to think park is actually greens, right? So it's good for cities. But if the park is too small, they cannot process the dry leaves, so they end up burning it. It's an irony, really. So what we're trying to do is like trying to all the dried leaf, use it as a bedding for the chickens, and then like all the food from the environment was given to the chicken. After 3 days, it's composted and give it back to the gardens, right? But what's interesting is here is everything is prefabricated. It's more complicated than it looks because it's a parametric weight loading. It's just one layer of bamboo, but you have to disperse the load in different direction and has to be carried only 2 travels by trucks, 6-meter trucks. So we counted all the carbons and how this installation not only serve as to spark the discussion about organic waste, but at the same time, it has to be free. So it's an inclusive spaces, public spaces, unlike Bangkok that has a lot of wonderful parks. Ironically, in Jakarta, we don't have any. So we created these so people can still visit. It literally smells like shit, because it is. And that's not a curse word, it's just like a chicken coop, but it has enough cross ventilation and a corner for chicken to bathe in lights for the first 3 months. So the first one is about bamboo, right? And then like the ideas, if we can just decentralize this idea, because unlike Thailand, Indonesian doesn't like to live in an apartment, you can't see one, you cannot find one. So imagine if every household have a pair of chicken coop in their backyard. Actually, it solves more problems than having a good architectures. Second one, we talk about concrete. On this matter, I believe we share the same philosophies with Thailand, for example. most countries, whenever I say concrete, they are like, oh, concrete are not sustainable. Well, it is if we do it in the right context. So in this project, I want to demonstrate the idea of 7-in-1, how to create a constructions that tackle 7-in-1. What does it mean is the roof, is the facade, it's also the ceilings, it's also the floors, the walls, the circulation, and also furnitures. Really, it's a 7-in-1, so the building was constructed in less than 1.5 years. So it was done less than 18 months. It's very sustainable, it's very fast, and it's very effective. What's interesting here is actually it creates wind tunnel. I'm not gonna go into detail because you guys, I'm not gonna tell a fish how to swim, so you guys are better than me in this. It's basically to preserve 2 humongous trees and creating layers of commercial architectures. There are 3 tenants here. Of course, it has to serve alcohol because the rents are expensive. But the ideas was concrete can be sustainable. And then you might say, okay, how about the other places? Remote, but not so remote, still like in the big islands, we have 6 about humongous province that is big island. But concrete is still one of the most sustainable because you can cast inside still, as long there's enough, about 3 meters wide travels is more sustainable than like steel or timber for that matters. So for this is it's actually a chapel, but we're trying to remove any religious part. It's a chapel that has 1 bedroom. The size is about 1 hectare. So we wanted to show the structures that can they can also function as sunshades for the buildings. So it's exposed with less direct sunlight, creates wind tunnels, get access, and all again the same principle that structures acted as the finishes and so on. We're trying to just to cover 10% of coverage. So by doing these, we can let another 90% remains as the rain harvesting areas. And what's interesting is from one point to another, from the first floor to the second floor, there's no stairs. So if you want to move vertically, you have to go through ramp on the garden. It's quite troublesome during rain season. I was there. So that's like, if I just skim, we do concrete. Another interesting project with concrete, we're trying to create, how can we just craft a space by just using 3 walls of concrete and nothing else. So trying to blur the indoor-outdoor experience. So imagine like a parking lot of a trucks, it was abandoned, but the trees was beautiful, and we wanted to create nothing but 3 layers of walls dancing around the garden that creates an immersive commercial garden experience. So as you can see, the entrance was actually the rainwater harvesting. We harvest all the waters and reuse it for the plants. That's why all the plants are so happy. This was taken right after it finishes. If you go here now, it's basically a jungle. No building can be seen, and all the spaces will be filled with shadows and waters and reflections, and no trees is being harmed during the constructions. The ideas was, we believe that basically we boil down tropical architecture and sustainability is the minimum effort to achieve comfort. It can be any way, it can be passive, it can be active. It's the total carbon footprint that matters and how we operate it. Okay, moving on to the extreme part. Okay, now we talk about expansive area. Okay, it's easy when we talk about remotes, but how about the area that has one of the most expensive freight areas in the middle of a business district? The problem was when the rent is so high, you can't stop people like, for example, like this building to install like a lot of heavy AC, right? They'll just install loads and loads of BTUH of aircon. So we're trying to tackle 2 problems at the same time. So we're saying about waste collection and waste management. They don't even know how much waste they have in the area. So we're trying to harvest the whole week amount of waste, about 4.8 tons of plastic waste, and use it as a facade. This is acted like a secondary facade lattice, but a flexible one. Why? It serves 2 purposes. Because you can install like 20 PK aircon, but if there's no OTT fee going into the buildings, you will not turn on 20 PK. At best, you will turn on 6 or 8. So we cannot stop investors from investing a large amount of heavy AC, but what we can stop them is to use the full amount. So by doing this, in daily use, if you visit this building, they don't really turn on all the aircon, right? You cannot stop them because it's a leasing area. People still pay rent. But at the same time, you can inactively force them to use less energy. At the same time, the facade can grow together with the existing trees. No trees is being harmed, and the syllables are still extreme. So we can add extra outdoor refreshment area, and the landlord can still sell them, but at the same time, no trees is being cut, and like the facade grows together with the trees, and even the entrance and the circulation, because we want to minimize lift and everything. But they sell alcohol, you see, so you cannot provide stairs. So then like we need to be crazy about the ramps, a lot of cantilevers, not to just cut the trees. A good trivia, each of these trees, if anything happened to them, we have to pay 150,000 US dollar. So they have chips inside of them. So if the trees is harmed, we have to pay the developer. An extreme case is about like, for example, using the opaque glass blocks, but with hidden structures. For example, this is my own personal buildings. I own it, so we can do a bit crazy about it. But the idea is I desperately wanted to create a park, right? But, you know, you gotta pay the bills. So the idea was just to create a translucent, opaque, optical illusion facade inside a small garden, about 1,500 square meters, and call it a building. It is a park, really, right? So, for example, this indoor, but behind that door is another indoor, but on the left side is outdoors, but all the planters are from outdoor spaces. So the idea is like rain still going through here, but it's still aircon, is how to sandwich the indoor-outdoor experience. The building was so sustainable, it won a lot of awards. For me personally, it's merely a building, it's a garden. And this picture was taken 5 years ago. If you come here in Jakarta, I tell you the trees is like 30 meters high. So the building was dwarfed, it's practically a garden. And moving forward, how about if we do something in China, for example, like this year we're moving our offices to Shanghai base. But in China, what they call sustainable is everything that is metal based, because they are all dry structures. Everything is dry structures, no timber, no concrete. So we're trying to create like in the center of gardens, how to create an aluminum based building. So the facade and the building on the right is the construction progress. Will be finished in May. The idea is like we trying to calculate, it's actually way more sustainable using all the steel system. So basically the building was all dry joint. The construction was dry. The right one is rendering, the left one is the progress. We're trying to harvest the water inside the garden, etc., etc. How about the building that unfortunately forced you to build toward west and east? Then we're trying to demonstrate, okay, maybe there's nothing you can do about it, but there's a way to minimize. So we're trying to start to make it very popular how to harvest both rainwater at the same time to block the direct heat from the east and the west. It's our office really, but we have some commercials underground. From this small project, we're trying to bring it to the bigger project like this, right? The same principle, trying to make it less capitalist. We're trying to tell the client, okay, maybe compared to the neighbor on the left, right? Say like, okay, let's do something that is less commercial, you know? Make it more fun, but also functional. So all the facade acted as to drop the temperatures. And the ground is open garden that leads to the reservoir, water reservoir behind. So it's more inclusive. People can come. They don't have to pay if they don't want to. You know, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but of course we try to apply all the tropical engineering system as much as we can. All the buildings still incorporate wind tunnels with the facade and everything. But it's just like, the point I'm trying to make is the approach of sustainability is not like exact way, especially if you have trouble buildings, for example, like this is in the private islands. Imagine building things in private islands, right? You're trying to bring sack of cement and a water splash into your boat. Now you're just carrying stone, right? Imagine like carrying big steel. You can't have something to erect it. You bring small steel, then it will be rusted. You bring timber, it's going to be expensive. So we're using RAD+ar and cast it to create, it has to be circular, just like paper, to give inner structures. And because we can't use expensive timber, when we do local timber, it has to be cantilevered, so it's not exposed to the rain. But we're trying to make, this is like a yoga centers and the diving centers. We built something with privacy but without doors, dancing amongst existing coconut gardens. This is on progress, under construction. This is 100% timber fault system, so with less concrete. So what we do is like a timber system, about 30 centimeters thick. It's like an arc, but 3 dimensionals. It's interesting because we're doing this in the existing site that has fossil stones. That's why we do not want to do piling. Otherwise, you might damage the existing stones. Yeah, my time is up. I'll just skim it. We do extreme concrete, depending on the situation. But the idea was the same. It's tropics, like this is 100% timber on timber joint. The reason why it's so chaotic is because when you build on the water, your enemy is wind. If you build straight, right, it will sway. So it's either build inward or outward, or might as well just wrap them up. So the idea was like, this is from the existing villas, old villas on the islands. So rather than just throw the timber away, we use it as a windbreak and for the shades. And lastly, I'll close with temporary architectures. We believe also in expensive places like Bangkok, we need an alternative to build something less than 10 years, right? With, again, low carbon footprint. This is the roof, facade, and everything, and the ceilings, you know. So start to build something that is easy to dismantle after 10 years, a very low carbon footprint, but still like allows a lot of like wind tunnel lights, etc., those same old tropical architecture approaches. But still can be playful, useful, and very urban friendly. And lastly, I close with these projects. It's like to put the membrane to the extreme. We hug the trees instead, so rather than building first, we map the trees and then we build it. What you don't know is 1 centimeter differences and the whole membrane will be wasted. It has to be precise, but what is interesting is during daytime, the trees move, so you get the ever-changing experience from the indoor, but at the same time, at the nighttime, with the right songs, with the AI, you get this incredible nature's club. So we still can pay the rent. And entrance, as always, we can always use the water harvesting to create an entrance experience. On the first ground, it's very modular. The building disappears in the middle of the cities, but again, it's temporary, so total carbon footprint is very low. We construct this in 3 months. And if you dismantle it, it will be back to the garden, and we harm no trees in the process. So to close it up, we believe that architecture in Southeast Asia, to be precise, has to be more free. It has to be liberated. You know, you can't use one way of doing this is sustainable, that is sustainable. It's like pressure. It gives you a lot of pressures. But I believe if we just trying to do good, using a lot of creativity, we can achieve a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. Such an impressive presentation. So let's move to our local finalists. Okay, and now it's time for the Thai Young Architect presentation. The first one we're going to start with Assistant Professor Dr. Polpat Nilubon, Co-founder and Design and Research Director of NPPN Design and Research, and Associate Dean at the Faculty of Architecture, Rajamangala University of Technology, Thanyaburi. Please give a warm welcome.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Polpat Nilubon. I'm a lecturer and also the researcher and also architect in the Rajamangala University of Technology. Also, for today's, I would like to also talk about the pragmatic adaptation approach, which is, in the lastly speaker, is really good professional practice. Back to that, I'm going to a little bit of a researcher, how we can bring the research into the real of the practical ways. Let's say we have the pragmatic adaptation approach, which is, it's about the how to do on the base on the research and bring that to the real world. Okay, as you may know about the disaster and also or the flood pollution or the thing is start from the urban scale into the architecture scale, into the interior. This is a basic skill that we facing with climate change. This is, we know this is really big problem and big issue in Thailand, which is about the flooding issue. And flood and drought is always in the ways how we architecture on the role of architecture can solve. And we know that this, how can the architecture move from the resist water to the adapt into that. And I am the also co-founder of NPPN Design Research. And also in another hands, I'm also the director of the Water Adaptation Innovation Center in the Lachamankala universities. And we do as both sides. In one side, we do on the research. And one side, we go for the practical ways. Bring that the research into the practicals. I come out with the 2 books for this one with the water architects. One book and another book is the amphibian, the urbanisms. And we always talk about how the designer can be in the leader of the how to give the direction to the communities and the countries. And this is we call the pragmatic adaptation approach. If you look at this, we test it. We analyze for the risk of the disaster and design and test. And this, although on the developed framework, we do that and then we bring that to the real world. And if it's not work, then we go back again. And what I did is like we start to do for on the theories, and we do for the workshop for the Bangkok Design Weeks, and we talking about the climate change and how to adapt and how to do better cities. And we also making a summer course with the amphibian transformation by design. And we collaborate with also TU Delft and also Netherlands and also other university as well to make it a good societies. And I also speak with this how to design for the climate change and how to adapt. This is really important for us that we think that architecture be important for this can be the leader of a society that can talk about how we can adapt and also how to be sustained. And what next? After we talking about the research, and then we go for what we can do and what we can help to communities and also country that can reduce the flooding issue in Thailand. And we come out with the water queue with this structure. This is called the underground water storage system. And this is like a modular system. We can hold this. Is the water that we test is that possible to deal with the car on the top or not? And then we test its work. And also this is like modular system. It's really easy to install and explore. And this one, if you look at this, this is the water queue. And this is a system that we can like reduce the flooding issue in Thailand. And we call this underground water storage system. And on the top can deal with the car as well. If you look at this, and we send this one to the Geneva, the international conference, the big conference in Switzerland, and we got the prize, and we got the winter prize for that one, and then we talk about more is what next that water cube can do. Not only like in the underground level, but we test for the research thing, and then we go for the real size, which is we got the project from Thailand in this one in the Faculty of Architecture in Lachamankala universities, and we got also the flooding issue in 2011, and we test it on the size that we want to improve that water cube can help in solving the flooding issue in Thailand. And we test on the real size, and this is the area that we test is above the 300 square meter, And this is how we can like implement on that things. And finally, we got this is under construction, a picture. And then finally we got this one and can help for Pathum Thani actually can reduce the flooding issue in testing on this case. And all of this under the car parking lot is the underground water storage system. And what next? What's next? Water queues also not only looking just only underground, but we also have our vision on floating and also amphibian architecture as well. We plan in the next level that do in the next step for the in architecture and also in other like structure. This one we tested in the Bangkok Design Week 2026. That also this kind of type of the water queues can also deal with the air pollution. That also possible to make a wall and partition also possible. And then we test this can be also reduce also the air pollution, noise, and also can somehow store the water when the heavy rain as well. And we also talk about the floating city, and this is the Gulf of Thailand, and this is a project that is kind of like a 2021 that we proposed that okay, maybe if you want to reduce, if you want to save Bangkok, you can do some in the next level in this part, and then you can manage of the water on the Gulf of Thailand. And all of this we call Spong cities, and this is a philosophy that we think that is important for Bangkok and also Thailand and also other cities can deal with this. Spong cities, green blue infrastructure, and also the nature-based solution is also help a lot. And this is what we can like contribute to the ASA emerging this. And we are thinking also like what the rule of the architect, young architect should do. And this is also not, we not do only like in underground, we try to test this on the architecture as well. And I believe that young architecture must become a translator between climate, public needs, and also design action. It's not only like, okay, designs, but this need to be like from research and push the research into the real world. And what the young architecture can become in the age of this disruption, I hope that we you will choose the voice that do not trace resilience at the side of the topic. The resilience should not be only the topic, so that we need to be like a mission of the architecture that should do in the future. Yeah. By conclusion of this one, our idea is about the adapt watershed future. This is the identity of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Polpat Nilubon. Okay, so let's move to second presentation from local young architect. Please welcome architect Asrin Sanguanwongwan, co-founder of STA Architect, that based in Croatia and Thailand. Please welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Asrin Sanguanwongwan. I'm an architect and co-founder of STA with my partner Petar Tklin, who is from Croatia. Since our origin, we need to have the office based in two countries. One is, and we need to deal with a different situation. One is in Zagreb, Croatia, where we deal with the historical context of a European and the permanence of architecture, while the other one is in Bangkok. We need to deal with the rapid change and tropical climate. And this makes the architecture quite like more, how to say, like fragile than the other one. And we always combine the idea of one continent to another because it's who we are. And I would like to start with a quote from Le Corbusier in Towards a New Architecture to remind ourselves what is architecture. My house is practical. I thank you as I might thank railway engineer or telephone service. But suppose that wall rise towards heaven in a way that it touched my heart. You have established the relationship that aroused my emotion. This is architecture. So he was saying that like actually architecture is something more than just to make it work, but also it needs to have something that move you. No? And this is an example of reference that move us. It's a painting by a Croatian painter called Jurije Knifer. And he painted really simple form of meandering things, but it's quite interesting because this kind of form, when it touched with the corner, it changed the dimension and it created the space and also possibilities of form and many definitions. And we think that this kind of reference can be the starting point of how we can develop the form in our architecture. We translate a lot of functions into the aesthetic elements, and also we're interested in form and shapes that goes beyond its functionality. It should have the quality that you can improve the space. It should have the shape that resonates with its reference. And we apply all this to many scales of architecture, from furniture design, interior design, until architecture scale. This is one of the first examples where we apply the idea. It's called the U Studio. It is the graphic design studio, and we were asked to insert this project into shop house in Bangkok, and the client requests us to do like 2 floors of working space with the exhibition area and multi-purpose area where he can drink, he can put his large scale of a graphic, or he can hang out with friends. No? And these 2 programs need to be separatable. So this project, we're working on this translating the division between these 2 programs together, and we come out with, we proposed a very flexible partition made from curtains from 2 floors, and then give it the character by squeezing it into the semi-ellipse. And so it has a kind of effect that you have a perspective game. When you're inside this space, you have this squeeze perspective, and it makes this space larger than it looks. And together with the mobile stat to save the space, and with the red columns, it creates a kind of surrealistic quality in which it is beneficial for exhibit something there. And when you open up the curtain, you also open up the possibility to connect this exhibition into the office area. And when you are inside the exhibition in the office area, you have this feeling that you don't work only in the working environment, but you have some possibility to breathe, to have a chance to hang out also in the space next to you. Another project we would like to present is a Museum of Broken Relationship. It's a renovation of a very old building. It was built in 1904. It's called Yongxie Building in the middle of Chiang Mai. And as you can see, it was one of the first buildings that built from wall bearing from brick with wooden structures, and it's quite beautiful in terms of like preservation and the contrast between the dark wood and the white plaster. And we really like this kind of visual because it's quite abstract. We would like to also bring this into the interior. Museum of Broken Relationship is the museum that has a collection of donated items that tell you about the story of their past relationships. It's quite interesting because it shows ordinary things, but the story is extraordinary. And like our relationship, it can be beautiful, it can be sad, it can be touching, and it can be also sarcastic. And it's we feel really good to have a chance to design this museum. When you enter, this is the first time when we enter the building, you can see that the interior is not really original, but the thing that they preserve it well is the elements around the facade, like the doors and windows. And we would like to continue this into the design. This is the original floor plan. This building is in the corner of the Vichian Road and WAIC Road, and it used to be the hotel, the programmable hotel before we enter. And we would like to keep the entrance as it was before, because the architecture really like indicate that it has a pair of columns in front of the buildings, and it also have a lot of accessibility to this building. But when you enter to this building, let's say it's a reception, how do you go to the exhibition area? Since it has this C-shaped plan, so you need to choose to go up or go to the right. But we don't want to choose neither of that. Instead we choose to have to build a new intervention where all these three rooms merge, and it's connected the upper part and the right part together, and it's marked where the exhibition is, and it connected, and still disconnect between the reception and the exhibition area. This new intervention was made from new materials such as the reflective stainless steel to mark the new program inside the existing building. But we keep all the rest of the existing materials such as the floor and also the wooden skirting. We leave it as a kind of abstract patterns inside the space. And the effect of this reflective canopy, when you look through inside the exhibition, you can see a glimpse of what's happening inside. It can draw you to enter to the exhibition. While like on the right, on this right hand, you can see that the new material reflects also the old material inside it. Inside the exhibition space, we put the smaller scale of the walls to fit with the scale of the exhibited items, and we also tilt it a little bit and let the air in, because we want to break the rigidity of the space. We are looking to this very ordinary thing, and we don't want people to have the journey that is very strict, no? So this kind of technique, it can make you more relaxed, because you don't look into very orthogonal space, but you look into the space that's quite flow. And sometimes the wall also create the scenography for the object. When the objects are too small, we design the plinth that can be lit from underneath, and it's exaggerate the silhouette of the items and make it alive in the space. This is the upper floor, so it used to be the hotel. You can see that it's quite separate from each other, and it's divided by room. But our idea is to make it more flow in terms of experience. So we remove all of this, and we insert a series of inclinated wall and a floating wall to connect between the corridor of the room with the main exhibition. And then we put the same thing as we put downstairs where the room merged, no? But on this floor, instead of putting the new material, we try to blend it, because the upper floor, the material is quite preserved. So we want to introduce a new form, but fit in with the old space. And on the left side, you can see how the corridor connected to the main space. And here you can see the effect of the new form that fit in with the old environment. Sometimes the objects are too delicate and it will disappear in the space. So we put a new material such as the stainless steel to make it as a background and make it pop up. And we use also the thing that is preserved in the building, such as the door and window as a background of the items, and also it becomes the environment of the museum. And the last room where the inclinated wall join together, we put this kind of confessional room. Is a room that you can reflect yourself and write your experience after you've been through the journey of the museum. Another project that we would like to present is Paka Studio. Paka Studio is the flower designer. They make the flower with the space, and they do a lot of installation for the weddings and also for the art events. And now they expand. They have the office space in Bangkok, but now they expand to Paris as well. And this is the site that we are given. They have the existing office inside this warehouse in Nagiwa Street in Bangkok. And you can see from the facade, it's a kind of very typical industrial buildings. You have the metal sheet wall with the metal door sliding. And inside, you have this beautiful wide span of the metal truss with the skylight. And we think this is very interesting, and maybe we can continue to use it in the project. This is a layout of the buildings. You can see on the right hand is the original building, and this is not the original, existing office. And on the left side is a new building that we propose. They also asked us to do the facade to unify this building together. But when we work on it, it's not only the facade that is important, because when you enter from this huge ramp, which is the car entrance where you unload your package and a lot of flowers, you have this big wall that you need to deal with, and it's very important as a first impression when the client come to see them. We propose to have this kind of abstract line with the a little bit tilt here and there to make the facade not to be so flat in the space, and also to break the rigidity of this very grid line in the space. And here also we exploit the situation that is a semi-outdoor. So maybe we can experiment with something that is more ephemeral. So we propose a series of translucent curtain and place it together small and big and make it look like a more solid material. No? And this curtain function also as to protect the privacy from the people who work inside. And we place a series of opening to mark where is the entrance, director's room, and where is the hall. And on top of this building, you can see that we preserve this truss as a crown of this building. And this is where, when you enter, you have this inclinated wall. You can see how it works. That is not so like rigid, but then it has this kind of shade and shadow that make it more smooth, and also increase the privacy of the curtain. And when it becomes in the night, it has this effect that as a big lamp, where the artificial light passes through this translucent curtain, it has this kind of diffuse effect. It looks like a paper lamp from like Isamu no Kuji. And when this is a floor plan from the ground floor, you enter from the right hand, you found this. You will find this demonstration area where they can cut and wash and also arrange the flowers with the support facilities such as sink and pantry scattered around this area. On the upper floor is a meeting room with the toilet, and this demonstration area is connected with the flower display where they do the big flower installation, and the passerby can see it from the street, no? And these two areas connect by these steps, and we try to translate these steps, no, into the space that where you can sit and watch the flower demonstration. And also you can hang out there, you can eat something there, you can have some kind of party there as well. And thanks to these small steps, it reduced the height between the platform in the front and the upper part, and we are able to create the stair that is more like human scale. And we borrow some kind of like maze technique that you put the collage of some marbles, curtains, stainless steel, and color inside the space. We translate also these functional items such as sink, stair to be the sculpture that floating in the space. This is the upper floor plan where you have all the main working table and with the director room. And this is a section, and we try to divide separate many levels of ceilings. In the front part, you have this very high space where you can breathe, no? And in the working table, we try to lower it to have the more human scale for the working table. And we can put the AC and also insulation space inside of these ceilings. And this is the result. Like on the right side, you can see it's quite briefly when you enter to this space. And on the left side, you can see that also that we still keep the elements from the past, like truss and skylight, and it's become the reference point of how we create the shape and form of the stair. And this you can see on the upper floor that this thing that we preserve played a quite important role in creating the character of the upper floor. And this is the facade that we renew. On the upper one is the existing one, is a metal sheet that quite like separate and unorganized. So we decided to translate this kind of metal sheet. We keep the same spirit, but change the scale of the metal sheet and turn it horizontally, and it crosses over from one side to another side. So instead of having two separate buildings, you have one unified, one with a more refined scale. And this metal sheet jump from the car entrance and open up as a window display on the left side. Also, on the sliding door, we translated into the metal door and embedded it as a part of the facade. And here's the result. Also in the section, we try to connect this building with the context as well. So our idea is like when the build on the top of the building, it should have some conversation with the sky. So we bend this metal sheet a little bit gently, and it creates a kind of like soft shadow brush on top of the building. So it ends with the sky quite soft. And on on the lower part of the building, we create this kind of urban table where the staff can hang out and put their street food or like coffee on this table. And here is when everything comes together, you can see the relationship of the inner facade, outer facade, where they share quite the same aesthetic, but with the different materials, and also how the building ends with the sky and the cities, and also the relationship that connected with the parts of the building. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Asrin Sanguanwongwan from STA Architects. So let's move to the third one. Please welcome Architect Pongpol Puangniyom from OCM Studio on stage. Please give a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, and first of all, would like to say thank you for this opportunity to showcase our passion and our thought in design. First of all, we are Thai, right? And Thailand land of smile. Can you guys please give me some smile? Okay. So I'm Om. I'm founder of Zero CM. We are a studio that began during COVID-19. Before I worked in Beijing, and I need to come back to Thai and cannot go back to Beijing. So our studio starts from zero. So from zero, I believe that can go to be something that infinity, because we don't have the boundary, we don't have the line, so we can go whatever we want. This is our team. We're just a small group of designers, but we have our way and thought that we want to drive. Sometimes we need to forget fundamental to design the space that more fun. So we believe that fun should be over fundamental. I've joined a lot of competition during I was university student, and I've got some prize like TRA Taiwan Residential Award, or some prize like finalist of ASA competition in 2017. Today I would like to showcase our project that I test our concept about fun in 3 types of scale, from S size to M size and to large size. Let's start from the small one. The smallest one. At that time, I was a project manager of the young designer in Bangkok Design Week 2021. This project, I work with a group of young designers, and I also have sponsors like Art4D, SCG, and mentor like WASLab and Hypothesis team, also Pan Mueang. This project, we got an assignment that we need to design a neglect site at Choduk area. The Choduk area is next to Talat Noi. That area, there is no playground, or there is no central area for community. So there's no area for people to hang out at that area. So after we have a lot of meeting with the community, we work with them, and we do some research. So the answer is they like a space that people at every ages can use together at the same time. So the answer is like a playground, like a pathway, along pathway and slider, and also some small objects. Like you imagine, like if when the kids play it on a slider here, while adults and senior can running and walking around the curvy line. So they can look after kids at the same time they are walking or running. So after we sent this project to Monocle magazine, we got the award in the types of like a social space. But for me, the most important thing is not this award, but it is happiness of the villagers, because they really use this space. It's not just for publication, not just for photo shooting, but I think this kind of space really serves people, because we have did a lot of research, have done a lot of research at that time. So I think that is the right answer for us. Move up next to medium fund. As we know that we have a lot of abandoned structure, like 20 years or 30 years old structure in Bangkok, and there is not much space in Bangkok. So I think if we utilize the structure like this, it can be revived, it can become a home for people in Bangkok. It's like we need to find a strategic design way to design in a sustainable way. I call this project as in Thai call from จากซากเป็นสิ่ง but in English I call it from scrap to skirt. Skirt is like a slang. As you can see, if we revive this kind of building, which are a lot of in the Bangkok, I think it would be nice if this kind of building can host people at today, and maybe it was right solution for today. And as our core idea that we will design in the way that more fun, not just for fundamental, for functional. So I think we can play with a facade, because townhouse, there's two building flank on the side. But if we design it at the front like we design a facade in a triangular modular system, we built it from factory and then we move it and install on the side. I think in this way it would be like a minimal touching the side. Don't need to disturb the area, because there's not much space on the side. You see, that is the happiness in this house. From before, it's like a sack, right? But we can change it in a way that gives the space for people, that can give the space for fun. And then I have another project similar to the last one, but this one I go a little bit further than the last one. I have tried a new material solution like a 3D printing, because if we build this kind of facade by 3D printing, we can build like in terms of the economic of scale, we can build it all around Bangkok in very short time. You see, we can use 3D printing mortar from factory, and then we can move it on the site. I have finished some mocked up in my studio to test how this kind of facade will be, or how this kind of automatic system, because I have built the plant pot which have automatic piping at the back of the facade. So I've tried the full scale of the collaboration of each system in this kind of facade. If you guys have time, you can go to emerging booth and see this mocked up model. If you have time, hope there's no water splash around the site. So the last but not least, during COVID-19, me and my friend Mai Jun from Malaysia, we joined a competition. This competition, we used the very large abandoned structure. As we all know that it is the Sathorn Unique Tower. Before Sathorn Unique Tower is like ghost tower, we call that. But I think this ghost tower, it has possibility to become a host. So I call this project from ghost to host. Before Sathorn Unique Tower planning is designed to be like a high-class luxury condo, but in the total room is about 600. But we change it, we arrange it, we configure the plan to be a house for social. From 600 rooms become 1,000 rooms. So from 600 become to 1,000. And we designed a system that wrap around the building and the facade to be the building that can survive during the pandemic. If the pandemic comes again in the future, this building can survive themselves. Like we have a social space, we have park, we have like a solar system, or even the vertical garden. As you can see, we try to play with the design and the material that fit with this kind of context in Bangkok. Someone asked me, because this project have won the competition of in Taiwan TIA residential competition, how Thai in this building? But the answer is because this building was built in Thai and designed in Thai, it doesn't need to be like a traditional gable or hip something. But I think the thing that we concern about the context, about the DNA, I call DNA of Thai, that we like something that breathable, we like something that bright. That is the answer for the new generation of modern Thai architecture. Don't need to be gable from my perspective. So that the answer, Thai DNA in new space. So in conclusion, our fund is not just for fun, but our fund is to design the space that can serve people in like a joyful way, because today we all face many challenges or many struggles. But I think if we face it with smiling, can you guys give me some smile? And then we can go back and face our challenges together. I think we can get through the struggle together. Okay, have a great day, and thank you. Hope you guys have a great future.
Thank you so much, Architect Pongpol Puangniyom from OCM Studio. So before we move to the fourth one, let me tell you, we're gonna slightly change the program a little bit. Firstly, we would think that after the last presenter, we will take a break like 10 minutes. But right now, we think we're going to continue with Mr. Kawarismi from ACYA, the chair of the Acacia. And then after that, we can take a break. And then the judge can be like, like have a short meeting. And then we will meet for the 5 finalists in ASA night tonight. Okay? So let's move to number 4 of the presenter today. So please welcome Architect Saenawee Chatameteewong, co-founder and computational design director of DesireSynthesis. Please give a warm welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Saenawee Chatameteewong. Okay, my office named DesireSynthesis. Our office just came from this. All the design, all the needs of all the people involved in the project, we combine it into our design and then we synthesize into our own design. So that's why our office named DesireSynthesis. So in our office, we believe that we're going to achieve this kind of thing, Thai vernacular and tectonic, and curvilinear and generative design and robotic fabrications. We're going to achieve that through man and machine collaborations. In terms of man and machine collaborations, we're going to do computational design and robotic fabrications. So for computational design, we're going to use procedural modeling. It's analog computation. So it's kind of like we make ourselves a computer. We model algorithmically until we get a certain shape. And then with generative design, we can get the emergent result from it. And also robotic fabrications. We fabricate it with robot. We augment the way people construct buildings. Okay, I'm going to talk you to 3 of our projects. One is the KJL Innovation Campus, or KIN. It's on the 3rd phase here. Oh, it's not, you cannot see it, okay. It's the 3rd phase of the company. They have factory under RAD+1, phase 1 and phase 2, and this is the phase 3. It will be an innovation campus. And it starts with the regulations. In that area, the maximum height is 15 meters, but in Thailand, if you do with a hip roof or gable roof, it's counted at top of the wall, not top of the roof, right? So, okay, we're gonna start with that to maximize the height of the building. Oops, it's not going, okay. And the owner has this brief for us. He wants a building that incorporates outdoor space, covered from direct sunlight and rain, right? So we have a design to use this Chinese pagoda because it has the eave to cover it from the rain, right? And then that is the logo of the company. It's in stock market. So we're going to combine the logo language of curvilinear design and rectilinear design together. So we start with simple hip roof. We stack it on top of each other. And then we drag the corner down to protect the building from sunlight and also make for the privacy of the function inside. And now you can get the section of the building that protect people from direct sunlight, rains, but you can still have the visibility of the outside. And this is the heat radiation analysis of the building. And for the plan of the building, on the 1st floor is mainly a factory. And they have a cafe in the middle, here. Oh, I cannot see it. Okay. They have a cafe in the middle and have the garden in the middle. On the 2nd floor, they have a town hall there, and then they have the lab there and also the office. And then on the 3rd floor, it's mainly the office and the meeting room. So this is the outside of the building. Oops, not, okay. For the organization diagram of the building, we came from the concept of vernacular architecture in Arabic region, wind catcher. So it's kind of like a stack effect ventilation inside the building. And with client model, that the topology model that intersect with itself. Okay. So we have office floor on top of the factory, right? And then we put the hole in the middle, protected from outside, and you have stack effect ventilation inside. It's not only stack effect ventilation, as you can see here, they also have the visual interaction between each floor. So blue-collar workers and white-collar workers can have visual interaction between each department that they don't normally see each other, right? So now the workers in the factory, they're more proud of themselves, like what they are doing got more appreciated. And here is the outside of the building. You cannot see the void inside. And this is from the terrace. And at night, on the terrace, okay. And from the garden, right, we want it to be a live museum. So because we want workers' works to be appreciated, so we gradient the pattern so that you can look out into the garden and for visitors to see the workers inside, to see what they are working, soldering steel or whatever, right? And the company, they are manufacturing steels. They are #1 in selling MDB and wireways, right? And also bespoke steel manufacturing. And all this whole, we punch it into the logo of the company, but we gradient it. As you can see here, the wall is see-through, a little bit of moire effect. So you can see what is happening on the other side too. Behind it is a sepak takraw for the staff. And for the town hall, right? Normally town hall that you have this separated objects connected to each other, right? We combine everything together into one seamless curve. On the front, it can act as a town hall, but on the back, when they are not a meeting there, it will be a library, and material library for the staff to use it. So in the front, it will be a meeting room, let's say, and on the back, it will be a library. And this is the corridor behind it. Actually, they have a curtain to close off the corridor and the meeting room. And here's the lobby. And here's the meeting room on top of it. And here's the lounge. And here's the cafeteria. So for the factory, normally the factory is closed off from the outside, right? They have like solid wall. Or you can have a bay window that you can see what is inside, but it's not that privacy because some of work needs like NDA protected there. So we gradient it. So it can have a little bit of privacy and a little bit of like publicity that people can see what has happened inside. So now we can gradient it into this pattern, and now all the factory in all the 3 buildings will be kind of this barcode-like pattern, so that like when the weather is hot, they can open this operatable louver themselves for the workers, so they have the autonomy in terms of the climate that they're working in. And here is the inside. You can see the void inside that's like clean bottle-like. And this is the office. And this is the cafe. Okay, another project that I'm going to talk about is AWA project in Phuket. This one is ongoing, construction right now. It's all stainless steel. So again, like the logic of the house is from Thai vernacular house in ventilation, because the owner is car enthusiast. Actually, he's a friend of Lei Dalio. So, but he collects cars. He has like all the cars that's like very fancy cars. And then the aerodynamic of the cars, the wind is around the area that you use, right? Similar to the house. So this is a render of the project. And this one, we work with the structural engineer Bollinger Groman. We are doing the topology optimization so that we can get the minimum material possible for the steel structure inside, right? So topology optimization is kind of like our hand. You can see the bone, right? Actually is the analysis that like generate the bones or the trees, right? The area that have more load will be thicker than the area that don't have like much loads. So here is the result of the topology optimization. It's based on the area that you set for the support, and the shape is changing, but we select kind of this one, and then we have this. We trace the topology optimization. We have the steel structure inside, and then we fabricate it like robotically, like this. In China, we ship everything from China because right now in Thailand, you don't have like capacity to do robotic fabrications here. It's polished stainless steel, like this, and then we assemble off-site first, and then we cut it in pieces, ship everything, assemble it in Thailand, like this. Okay, this is part of the building. Okay, another project. This one is a house in the suburb area of Bangkok. So if you guys listen to this one and interested, they have a book launch of this one today at license booth in ASA, okay, at 5, if you're interested. Okay, so this one, the site is around 400,000 square meters. This is only half of the site. And then the owner cut around 55,000 square meters to be the house at the back of the site. Oops, it's not going. Okay. And they dig their own lake in the back of the site so that they can build like topology of the site. And here is the area of the house that they cut into the house. And then the plan is very simple to minimize the area that's face east and west, and then you hug the lake. And then you separated the generator area and the service area out of the main building. And this is a house, it's hug the lake, right? And then they have the separated service building next to the house. It's actually a sustainable farm. They are like Kok Nong Na model, around 200 rai or something. And then they have the house at the back. And the houses basically have 2 wings. Like one wing is for private use, there are bedroom there, and there are guest bedroom there. And another side is the dining area and also kitchen. And then on the main axis is the party space, let's say. And it's the roof pan. And when we build it, this is actually it's our first project in Thailand. We robotically fabricate the mold in steel, and then we let the immigrant worker to just like put the bricks in front of it. When they can make this complex shape, they are very proud of what they are doing for the wall of the house. And then, as you can see on the key plan there, at the roundabout of the house, drop-off area, we use silk pattern, and then with concrete bricks, we rotate it differently, and then we put the truss behind it. Normally, like around 3 square meters, you need a stud and columns, right? So we put it on the back. You see here the pattern, and then You have the truss behind it, and in front of it, it's kind of like silk pattern. And then there's a gate of the house. For the gate of the house, we bend the wood into the shape of the silk. We robotically fabricated all the steel frame, and then we bolt the makha wood, is Thai hardwood on top. We bend it into the main door. And then for the house, it's basically just typical like stack ventilation of Thai house, vernacular house, right? We separated the roof, let the heat go out. And and by the way, I forget to mention, the owner is the wood collector, so all the wood here, all the makha wood on the floor and on the ceiling, everything is from the owner collections. So in interior of all the room, we bend the wood into the shape, so we steam bend it. We laser cut all the frame, we manufacture it off-site, assemble it again, similar to the project we did in China, and then we are bending it here, like this. Okay, there's like the bedroom, the guest bedroom. And for the service area, we gradient, again, similar to Kin project, right? We gradient the public and private space, right? So that people inside can have natural ventilation. You can see what's happening outside, people, and why they can also protect themselves from like what they are seeing, like the laundry stuff or whatever. Right, and then when the workers, like normally they just lay it like 90 degrees, right? When they gradient these kind of thing, like the immigrant worker, they are very proud of what they are doing, and then we're happy, and we're also happy. And here you can see like in the generator room is entirely closed off, and then we gradient into the laundry platform there. And this is some interior of the house, and for the roof. Actually, in order for it not to have the kink between the two sections joining together, all the pieces of tiles here need to cut like into bespoke shape in order to match the topology of the shape. And then like a little bit of details here, like all the roof tile, we double it together, and then we put the aluminum sheet in between it, like a sandwich, so that like it's not leakage, so it's dissipated water leakage. So in our office, we believe that like in all our projects, we believe in our workflow that can create a project that more than ourselves, more than beauty. We want to build a project that can make life of people who are using it better. But not only that, but also profession, right? We want the profession to be better in terms of how we design it. We design computationally how you're gonna do the data-driven with machine learning, how that augment the way we design and also augment the way we build. Right? Because not only like this work, we also have a lot of works related to robotic fabrications and digital fabrications and machine learning too. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Architect Saenawee Chatameteewong, co-founder and computational design director at DesireSynthesis. Okay, let's move for the last one, number 5. Okay. Please welcome Architect Suttahathai Niyomwas, architect and urban design and co-founder of City Connext. Please welcome on the stage.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jan Suttahathai Niyomwas. Today, I'm going to tell you a topic about Hat Yai in practice, designing through disruption. Actually, this topic, not only I chose it to align with the theme of ASA this year, but also I feel like it's aligned to the situation in the world right now, using Hat Yai, my hometown, as a case study. So first of all, it's an honor to be here standing for the ASA Emerging Architects, and let's go through it together. So the presentation today is going to be surrounded by these 3 words: belonging, engagement, and continuity, because in the practice that we are working on, we believe that architecture or the city itself can be designed very local, responsive, and rooted in people's life. A little bit about myself, I'm an architect, urban designer, and I also consider myself as a youth advocate. I am a Fulbright scholar. After I finished my master at Cornell, I practiced in New York City for a while, and then I just came back to continue my work with the City Connext, which we base in both Bangkok and Hat Yai City. And not only that, we are not totally an architecture firm. I would call myself more of a multidisciplinary collective platform. I work with amazing practitioners across fields. architects, urban designers, graphic designers, social study, engineer, communication designs, and also MICE management, and many more practices. Working together, we all have the same focus to design with the communities to improve the cities. So in the past, actually, I've been working with City Connext for more than 4 and 5 years now. We have been working in different scales of project with both private sectors and public sectors, including the Creative Economy Agency, UNESCO Bangkok, and also like we got funded by the European Union and many more. So most of our project is we wanted the voice of the people and the community to be part of the ongoing process, to make them feel like what they say actually means something, and is part of what the city is going towards in the future. So we use the participatory design and local placemaking process to do all of this work. One of the examples that I wanted to give you is the Revisiting Kim Yong. It's one of the projects that we work on 2023 in Hat Yai City. So Kim Yong Market is actually one of the oldest market in my hometown, and right now is still active and the main trading center of Hat Yai City and the southern part of Thailand. So we want people to actually come back to see what it has been, what it's been through, and how it's going to move into the future. This is the intervention that we've been working on, not only our team, but we collaborate with other designers and architects as well, giving them space to explore and also to express themselves. It's a collective presence of the neighborhood. So we have 9 design interventions throughout the whole three floors of the market, in some empty slots, and also working on the lost space on the upper floor of the market. So you can see right here, downstairs actually still an active market. They're still selling stuff. Working together with experienced designers, 27 Junes, we do this projection mapping, which is actually interactive and immersive design to make the owner see that this is not just an empty space. You have much more potential to work with it. So in the past, I think 9 days of the intervention and exhibitions, the festival actually gains more than 10,000 people to come revisiting the market. One thing that actually happened is that this space actually used to be a theater before become a market. So we see many people, like grandma bringing their nieces, mom and dad bringing the kids. The conversation of different generations actually happen within the space that we try to activate and try to show how design can be adaptive and can be part of the conversation of the city. So that is when we kind of start thinking like, oh, placemaking and participatory didn't actually just stop at post-it on the walls or just the process that we normally see, right? Like normally when they talk like, oh, I work in community-led projects, we do participatory design, people just ask me, oh, you do those post-it stuff and questionnaire, right? And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of our main process, but how we can actually bring it to life. So this is what we've been working throughout the years. Every time that we did those participatory design, we actually save all the data and ask the questions, because we don't want people in the city to keep being asked the same questions. So every project we try to approach new things and activate new stuff. So another project is in a bigger scale. Now we wanted to activate the whole neighborhood of Saenawee, which is in the city center of Hat Yai City as well. The project called Maha Saenawee Festival, which is part of the Pakta Design Week. We are the hosts of this festival. So we gained more than 13,000 visitors and also more than 2 million views online across the platform. And according to Nikkei research, we got direct impact of economic impact in Hat Yai City, more than 64 million baht. So this is one of the sites. It's underground of Lee Garden Plaza. You guys might heard of it before. It's been through a lot. Not only the flood, not only the COVID situation, but also the bombing, terrorists that happened in the southern part. This is in the center of the city, and it's still underutilized. So we talked with the owner. We created this space together with other designers and creative people in the city and outside of the city. We try to narrate the city throughout the space, not only in Lee Garden Plaza, but the whole neighborhood. We scattered out, working with foundation, people, and locals. The shop's owners, like this project, actually, we bring Kanan brand, which is designers who work with the canvas store in the locals to try to see, oh, what they can actually make out of space, or rethinking the old skate park. What can you actually do to use it right now? Because actually it's not so safe to be indoor, but then they already built the construction. And this is like a collective process-driven city design that we use this as like a urban common to show that privately owned public spaces can actually be activated. You can tell the story of the city and it can actually be fun. And what actually happened is that we work together with more than 80 organizations and designers, local and all over Thailand. It is a city effort, and at the end, actually we got commissions, and the owner of Lee Garden Plaza gave us that space that I just showed you for more than 2 years to work on this creative project together with them. So we began to create the charm in the city, but then this happened last year. You guys might recall from the news, it's the flooding situation in the southern of Thailand. So actually disaster exposed the existing condition within the city. It is a disruption in a way. So what actually happened is that the city scale preparation, there's a gap. So this is actually like a landfill that happened after the flood, and there's a coordination failure and unequal impact that happened in the city. So we use this CBDRM, which is community-based disaster risk management process. So this is a skill of an architect and urban design to actually try to understand what's happening in the city and try to understand our role in the city, what we can do. So looking back into the history and all the data that I told you before that we keep collecting, how you actually grow from the train station. We are a transit-oriented development city, and we are surrounded by all the nature resources, but the city center that I'm showing you right now is one of the deepest part. So when the flood actually came, the city center gone first. So we trying to work together with communities, understanding the zone and the flood water, and working together with other stakeholders in the city. So this is the overarching plan that we've tried to figure out. Like the first thing we can do is try to communicate. So we have this campaign called Hak Hat Yai, which is designing care of infrastructure in the age of after the flood and this post-disaster happens. So this is actually the Garden Plaza that I told you before. Since we know the owner, we said, hey, what about doing something monumental? This is the first thing we do like a couple of days after the flood. We got some feedback that's telling us like, oh, this is actually a very good support system for them, because when this thing happens, you need to clean your house. You need to make it operate very fast as possible, right? So then you don't actually have time to care or to think about yourself. So as a designer, as an architect, let's say, it is our role to think about that as well. Because we discovered during this process also that urban recovery is not only about what you see in the infrastructure. We talk a lot about resilience, right? And when I talk about flooding, everybody's gonna point it into something more of a structure or infrastructure, which is hard resilience, which I don't argue with you. It is a long process, it needs to be happen, but what's gonna happen along the way then? So there's a theory that called a soft resilience as well, is how we need to save the day-to-day life, and every preparation process that you embedded or invested into the city can actually save more costs for the post-disaster that's gonna happen. So what I wanted to tell is that community-led doesn't mean that us as a designer is absent, because a lot of people ask me that, oh, when you work a lot with a lot of people, then community has a lot of ideas, right? Then what do you do as a designer then, because the idea came from them? So I feel like it is our role to not just listen, we need to translate, we need to frame it in the beginning, all the process needs to be designed, and we need to make it into more spatial strategy and the decision, right? So the process that we work is we try to understand the city, we interpret it, and we propose something. We design it, we zone it, and we do a spatial hierarchy, and also plan a long-term urban consequences that are gonna affect to the city. So one of the things that we use for the post-disaster, which is more design and spatial study, is a recovery-based festival. This is called Luna of Love. It's actually a design as part of an ongoing conversation. It happens also in Suttahathai area again, because we already work with them. We work with 71 shops units across the whole neighborhood. We talk to every one of them. We have data collecting in the back of the house, but what happened is that every store actually, we decorated it together. You saw this pink thing gonna happen, and it light up the whole area into this pink crossing between multicultural, like Chinese and also Christian culture of Valentine's, right? This is actually, we wanted to give back hope and something fun, or tell the wishes of the people in the city. So you can see like us working together with the communities. And actually each one of this, we have this workshop that you can paint it. So it's a collective installation that people keep hanging what they actually feel like they can be part of this design. So we also have like stamp and working with kids and everything. So all of this, I want to tell that I do believe that power of connection is like something that create very meaningful changes. And I learned this not only from working with City Connext, but also from the young practitioners that I met along the way, because we have the privilege to work with a lot of creative people and young minds that have a lot of energy. So I feel like young practitioners are not just the future, but we are already shaping the present right now. And also, building on with what I involved since last year at ACYA, I understand this involvement in more of a global scale or in Southeast Asian role. So it's not only about me giving a presentation to someone, but it's about connecting, right? And this is just the start. So us as a young architect in Thailand, I met such amazing people, and we can do so much more. So I feel like we can build on from the role that ASA already have in ACYA, and to expand, to exchange, to understand. And because this is what we actually presented last year, right? Like, as a young architect, is a space to do a global dialogue, to see what we can move as a movement of young people, or show collaboration, space for express curiosity and everything. So I feel like we're halfway there. We can do so much more within the time frame. And I feel like what we build matters, but how we work together also matters more. And I just wanted to end it with this note. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Suttahathai Niyomwas. Okay, next, for next session, please join me in welcoming Architect Kawarismi, from the chair of the Acacia Committee on Young Architect, or we call AZYA, who will share more about the AZYA. Please give a warm welcome.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna make it very brief. We in Acacia Committee of Young Architects is actually on the crossroad. We operate, from one end to the other. So we operate from Pakistan to Japan, if you will. So there are 24 country members. And we are in this conundrum of different realities where countries in these 24 countries are on the range of the scale of regulated market and slightly more liberalized market. Some economies are a bit more matured, while the others are still developing. Some countries, due to labor shortage and other challenges, have gone up to automation, while other countries are, still managed to keep their craft. Acacia, as a regional organization, consists of 24 country members, as listed below, and currently under the leadership of architect Professor Wu Jiang from China. The focus today is to ensure that we integrate innovation and with tradition, which there are not two parts, but as a single part that are unique as part of Asian architecture DNA. And in ACYA, one of the committees under Acacia, what we do is we provide platform, we serve as a bridge, and also a space for us to dream about the future. And if you want to see how it goes from a regional scale organization, and then basically we in ACYA as a young architect committee in Acacia, as a regional committee, that going to go down to the regional, the official representative of each country. So, as I said, Professor Wu Jiang, as the president, has outlined a strategic angle, and we in ACIA will work on the theoretic activities and also planning. In this case, in my term, what we are working on, future practice blueprint, that is going to be relevant for next few years to come. But it is on the official representative of each respective country member to actually put them into practice, contextualize them, and then basically make it happen in their own country. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to leapfrog the gaps that we have in between our country members to serve as a time machine and a time capsule where we can travel to the future, with countries that have, developed a little bit more with automation, but at the same time going back to the past where craft and the things that have been handmade is still predominantly practiced. At the same time, breaking the ceiling of what young architect could do, and of course, dream about the future. And eventually, hopefully, by connecting with other Asian architects across this country, we can mirror each other for the betterment, either through technology or appreciation of culture. And in this approach, we hope it will be a circular empowerment model where we're going to synergize this young architect to actually take on themselves and do self-initiated projects, self-initiated initiative, and supercharge their respective local young architects ecosystem. We have 5 approach of achieving this, and some of those activities that we have done in the past will be continued in the future, and I hope to see some of you, hopefully in Kuala Lumpur in July, or in Singapore in July, and we are currently operating across throughout this term. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Architect Kawarismi. Okay, so as many of you may know that today's winner will representative ASA at the Acacia Forum in India that will taking place in India from 8 to 12 September this year. So they will become ASA representative and join our committee, our team to India this year. So let's move for the last session. I would like to welcome Architect Sathirathadanan on the stage to give a closing remark to everybody here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for you all coming and joining this session. First of all, I'd like to thank our international speakers. I'd like to thank Architect Kazu. Thank you very much for your inspiring presentation. And I also like to thank Architect Richard. And again, your work is amazing, I must say. Regarding our 5 young architects, I would say that you all are already winners, okay? We are making just one selection, but you all have done very good work. And what we as ASA, what we plan to do is actually compile all of your work into a portfolio so that we can create a platform internationally so that you all can be able to go and speak in other countries. And we want to do this not only for this year, but for other years that will be coming. We want to attract more young architects to be a part of ASA, if you would want to call it the Young Architects group that can go internationally and present your works, okay? We've already spoken to our friend from JIA. We plan to have something with JIA in terms of exchange of young architects. We've spoken with our friend from Korea, and we plan to do the same thing, as well as from Taiwan. So And within Arcasia, of course, there will be a platform for all of you to be able to present your works. So with that, I would say you all are already winners, okay? So with that, thank you very much. I thank you for participating, and I'm very happy that you all showed up. So thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much, Architect Satirat. Okay, thank you once again for being part of ASA Emerging 2026. We truly appreciate you present and participation, and we hope to see you again at the ASA Architect Expo next year. Have a wonderful day and thank you.
ขอบพระคุณค่ะขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยนะคะสำหรับ moderator ของเราค่ะ Thank you for your moderation Thank you ขอบคุณค่ะเอาละค่ะนี่คือช่วงเวลาที่เราได้เห็นถึงศักยภาพนะคะของสถาปนิกชาวไทยที่ได้ขึ้นมาโชว์ศักยภาพกันไปแล้วนะคะและแน่นอนค่ะในวันพรุ่งนี้นะคะในเวทีนี้ของเราค่ะก็ยังมีเรื่องราวที่น่าสนใจให้ได้ติดตามนะคะหากท่านอยากจะเข้ามาร่วมกิจกรรมในวันพรุ่งนี้นะคะเรายังมีเรื่องราวที่มาโชว์ให้กับทุกท่านได้พูดคุยกันตั้งแต่เวลาตอน11 โมงด้วยกันค่ะท่านจะได้พบนะคะกับหัวข้อในวันพรุ่งนี้ก็คือ Architecture between now and tomorrow ค่ะและหวังว่าจะเป็นประโยชน์สำหรับทุกท่านด้วยนะคะที่จะได้รับฟังเนื้อหาทั้งหมดนี้ค่ะซึ่งเดี๋ยวหลังจากนี้ไปนะคะหลายท่านคงน่าจะได้เข้าไปร่วมในงานปาร์ตี้ในกิจกรรมต่อไปหลังจากนี้ค่ะส่วนภายในห้องของเราก็จะไปเจอกันอีกทีในวันพรุ่งนี้เลยนะคะดิฉันอัญญพรศรีกัลยาณบุตรและทีมงานทุกคนขอบพระคุณในความสนใจในการเข้าร่วมกิจกรรมในครั้งนี้ค่ะเจอกันใหม่ในวันพรุ่งนี้สวัสดีค่ะ